Sa DZRH, sa Elizalde.
Forget the past, it's time to mend.
A corporate thing.
So, ang sinasabi ko na lang,
Isang mapayapang hapon Pilipinas. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH at nanonood sa RH-TV. Lalo na sa mga kasamahan nating alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Madalas natin marinig ang kasabihang life begins at 40. At may mga pagkakataong halos literal na nangyayari ito sa ilang mga tao. Kadalasan nangyayari ito sa mga gustong magkaroon ng second career o di kaya yung nais ipagpatuloy ang isang pangarap na naudlot nung mga bata pa sila. Ganyan mismo ang nangyari sa ating bisita sa hapong ito. Nainiwan ang isang matagumpay na propesyon sa industrial design upang habulin ang kanyang childhood dream na maging full-time sculptor. Aalamin natin ang kanyang istorya sa kalahating oras ng masayang kwentuhan dito sa Art2art kasama ang napakasipag at malikhaing iskultor na si Daniel de la Cruz.
Isinilang noong September 28, 1966. Ang iskultor na si Daniel de la Cruz ay maagang nagpakita ng interes sa sining. Mula pagkabata ay mahilig na siyang gumawa ng mga figura yari sa luwad or clay. Upang mapagbigyan ang kanyang mga magulang, nagtapos siya ng AB Philosophy mula sa University of Santo Tomas noong 1991. Subalit di naglaon ay nagtuloy din ito sa larangan ng sining. Nagsimula siya bilang industrial designer para sa isang export company na gumagawa ng mga gift items at Christmas decorations na ibinebenta sa Amerika at Europa. Si Daniel ang kauna-unahang Filipino designer na nakagawa ng mga ceramic collection para sa sikat na kumpanyang Villeroy and Boch sa Germany. Taong 2007 nang magpa siyang iwan ng product design at maging isang full-time visual artist. Gumawa siya ng pangalan para sa kanyang mga mixed metal sculptures na nagpapakita ng mga kababaihang malakas, maligaya at punong-puno ng buhay. Bukod sa kanyang mga female figures, naging usap-usapan din ang kanyang mga obrang may temang umiinog sa relihiyon at filosofiya. Sa nakaraang 10 taon lamang, nakapagtanghal na siya ng 20 solo exhibitions at nakasali sa halos 80 group exhibitions sa loob at labas ng Pilipinas. Napanalunan din ni Daniel ang gintong medalya mula sa Festival of Nativities sa Rome, Italy noong December 2008. Isang mainit na pagbati ang hatid ng Art2art sa iskultor na si Daniel de la Cruz.
Magandang hapon, Daniel, and welcome to Art2art.
Magandang hapon, Lisa. Thank you for having me here. Magandang hapon po sa mga inyong manunood.
At ang mga tagapakinig sa DZRH.
At tagapakinig, of course.
Yes.
Tagapakinig.
So, Daniel, ikwento mo naman sa amin, kung kailan mo unang na-discover na may interest ka sa sining?
Actually, ang aking hilig sa pag-ukit at sa art ay bata pa lang ako. Kindergarten pa lang ako. Actually, I was kind of outstanding out already with the arts, you know.
Parang favorite subject mo ba sa yung arts?
Favorite subject and
Elementary pa lang?
Actually, sa kindergarten pa lang. Actually, bibigay pansin na ako ng mga aking mga guro, no? At I think doon pa lang alam ko na ito talagang aking kahiligan. Pero ngunit nung panahon ho na yan, malaman ho natin, maalala natin na yung kinalakihan ng ating mga magulang ay medyo kakaiba. Medyo sinauna pa na
lalo na ikaw, lalaki kang anak, no?
Apo,
So, syempre, hindi
ako yung bunso, no? Ako yung bunso ng magkakapatid na 5. Yung mga aking panganay na lalaki ay nagtrabaho sa mga negosyo ng aking magulang. At yung aking mga sisters naman ay nagtuloy na doktor katulad ho ng daddy ko. So, kung parang in a way, no, pretty much everyone stayed within the family business. No? So I was kind of lost, for I didn't feel that I belonged in that field. No, pero tulad nga ho ng marami natin ng kabataan nun, siyempre pinalaki tayo na sumunod sa magulang natin. At ang nais ng tatay ko is, of course, dahil ako yung nahuhuling bunsong lalaki na may pag-asang maging doktor. So medyo yung pressure para sumunod sa yapak ng aking tatay ay andon.
Andon.
No, andon.
Okay. Pero despite the interest in art,
Yes.
philosophy ang kinuha mo sa kolehiyo.
Well, that was a function of my not being into
Pre-med.
no, my not being into wanting to be a doctor first.
Okay.
Because of course I got into the University of the Philippines, no? At ang course ko ay biology, no? Na sa awa ng Diyos nakapasok naman ako. Ngunit yung kurso ng chemistry ay hindi ako masyado nagustuhan. No, siguro mga nakalimang 5 ako. Bago nung laman ng magulang ko na talagang hindi talaga ako makakapasa sa pre-med. However, being UP, I was able to shift into philosophy, which is also a pre-law course. No, and for my father, who was a prominent doctor then, that was a good second.
Okay.
That was a good second. So I managed to complete my pre-law course in UP, graduated with philosophy. Ngunit kung gaano ko man hindi mahiligan ang pagdodoktor, although I did enjoy my philosophy, I knew that law was not my future. No, so medyo mabigat man sabihin pagkatapos po nun, and my father was planning what courses I should take next and where to take my law. Nagpaalam na ako, sabi ko na, Dad, hindi ko kakayanin. No, at hindi ko po gusto, so kung maaari pong payagan niyo ako magsarili. No? Well, having come from an old school, and having come from a very difficult childhood where they did not do very well, coming from the post-war, where he lost his father very young, and he had to play father to another 8 siblings. Na siya mismo bilang panganay ang nagpaaral. So, iba yung talagang very old school pananaw niya. So, ang nangyari na lang kung ang usapan is kung hindi mo kayang gampanan yung aming hiling, then I suggest you find your own way and you learn how to survive on your own. No? Ako naman siguro, whether that was youthful overconfidence or ignorant courage, naglakas loob ako na gagawa ko ng paraan. No? Sa awa ng Diyos naman, during college, actually I was featured, and I actually would always be very grateful for her for that, no? By Cory Carino. And now, I don't know if it even exists, the Panorama magazine. And by then, that was the only magazine around. Doing my hobby of sculpting. So even in college then, I was sculpting. And I had actually a lot of offers from a number of export companies for them to join them after. So sa awa ng Diyos, pagkatapos nung aking kolehiyo, meron namang akong nakuhang mga trabaho. No?
So tell us about your first job. It was as industrial designer?
It was not that glorious. It was actually, I would say, it was pretty much factory worker. I applied, and at that time, that was the peak of the handicraft and export business in the Philippines. No? We were exporting Santa Clauses and Christmas decor and everything, and the need for mga sculptor was quite big. But the sculptors there were not the glorified artists and industrial designers. We were just one of many. No? So we would be in the factory floor. Siguro maanim kami nakahilera sa isang lamesa. Ukit lang kami ng ukit. No?
Ano yung inuukit? Parang...
Nag-uukit kami ng maliliit na dekorasyon,
I
pang mga
see.
Christmas ornaments.
Pero ano, parang mass production, no? Hindi mga original na...
No, sa una, mga original muna, ng mga Santa and everything, but then we would prepare them for a mass production, for mass production. But as I said, it was really quite a non-glamorous job. Mga anim kami, doon kami sa factory floor na nagtatrabaho. Kasama na ho sa iyong product, sa iyong job description, yung paglinis ng sariling lugar,
Siyempre.
pag-map ng lugar, sa medyo, napagdaanan ko rin naman ho lahat yan. But I think for me, that
Pero
was
you were
quite
doing
important.
what you loved, no?
I was doing what I thought I wanted to do, what I believed I wanted to do. And I was learning. I was learning. In fact, when I first got the job, nung bago nun, yung aking hobbies ay ginagamit ko, clay lang. So dito, because for the factory, I had to do it in plaster and cast it in other materials. So when I got...
It was like learning.
It was a learning curve, and I will forever be grateful for some of the people who were there, because when I came in, when I got the interview, can you do this? I just said yes. Without
So masasabi
any
mo
clue.
talaga na you are a self-taught artist, sculptor.
Pretty much self-taught, and I was guided by my other co-workers then. And actually, in fact, I would proudly say that some of those sculptors who were working with me in the production line at that time are actually still with me are still assisting me in the studio now. So that's quite not to name the number of years, because that's gonna date me, but that's quite a long time. It's quite a long time.
Okay. Pero eventually, naging presidente ka ng iyong sariling export company.
Actually, yeah, it was interesting. Of course, I started out on the factory floor, but given the education that my parents provided me, you know, and of course my previous education prior to high school, of course, aside from doing the sculpture, I was able to show that, you know, I could think and I had managerial skills, you know. So I worked myself briefly from, well, in a span of few years, from the worker to the supervisor to eventually the factory manager, and then after a number of years, I actually became a full-fledged partner of the company, and after some time, I actually was running it already. No? So, medyo magandang experience dahil mula sa lahat ng bagay, mula sa umpisa hanggang sa pagpatakbo ng kampanya, ay napagdaanan ko. So, napag-aralan ko. And everything, that whole experience was totally challenging for me because it was all new.
Yeah.
It was all something that very intellectually stimulating.
Yeah. Yeah. And yet, you know, after working your way through the company and becoming president of the company, when you hit 40, you just decided to leave all of that behind and leave that whole career behind.
Well, I wouldn't
and go out on your own.
I wouldn't say I left the career because it's actually still there partially. But aside from running and developing in the export company locally, I actually got involved with a lot of companies abroad, where my industrial design was honed even more. You know, I was working for design houses in Europe. I was working for design houses in the States. American companies and European companies would sell products under my name as a designer. For a few years, I was designing as well. While running the company here, I was developing a design for the designs for Villeroy & Boch, if you're familiar with that company.
German company.
German is actually one of the oldest ceramic companies in the world, and quite prestigious actually. And it was sort of at 39, I feel I accomplished quite a lot, and I was starting to see that, you know, within this field, I was trying to look for, okay, what next? What can I do next? What will
So
I
that
do
was
different?
what was going in your mind.
That's
It was
what
like
was going in my
basically
mind.
what's
Yeah.
next, no? Oh.
You know, I've been work with these big companies and everything. If I continue, then is it really just gonna be more of the same in the future?
Okay.
No?
So you took that leap of faith.
Well, it was actually not even a leap of faith. It was more of a question, okay, 40, do I just, celebrate it with a normal party, or I do something different? And it was just sort of a challenge to myself. Maybe I should try and do that, and try to dabble with visual arts, and have an exhibit, just to say, at least to tick off the bucket list and say that I managed to do it even once. No? So it took me a while, a year, to develop all the materials I wanted, to develop the collection I wanted to show for the exhibit. And, at that time, it was not easy for someone like me to get into that field. No? There were no galleries who knew me. There were no art collectors who knew me. So one of the people I really owe a lot of, a very, very big debt of gratitude then, was that the national artist Arturo Luz was a close, very, very dear friend, mainly for the daughters who were close friends of mine during college. And then, of course, his best friend, architect Lord Kama. And so after all this career in the export and handicraft business and the product design business, I decided to go into the art. And then before I went to a full-fledged show, I approached our national artist Arturo Luz and asked him, "Sir, this is my very first piece as an art piece," because he knew since college that I really wanted to get into it.
Yeah.
This is my very first art piece. What do you think, sir? And should I pursue and try at least to have one show?
Okay. And what did he say?
Surprisingly, and he was just actually kind enough, Sir Arturo can be very direct and blunt, as rightly so, he would speak his mind. And as I said, sa awa ng Diyos, nung nakita niya, ang sabi niya lang sa akin is, Daniel, I've followed your career path through these years. Nakita ko yung mga pinagdaanan mo, nakita ang ginawa mo. I like this. I would say, normally, a lot of people would approach me with questions like this. And ang kadalasan sagot ko is, okay, very good, but come back to me in 10, 15 years. But sabi niya sa akin, okay, Daniel, you've paid your 10, 15 years. You've done your dues. Go ahead. And without that vote of confidence for him, I would not have gone through. And in fact, since there was no one to handle my shows and everything, and thank God I had a more very established business then, established source of income. I was able to afford to host my own show, and they assisted me in getting a space in Ayala Museum to be able to show.
Okay. And that was your very first
That
show.
was my very first show.
Okay. We'll talk more about the many shows and exhibits that you've had since then after the break. Marami pa
Sure.
po tayong pag-uusapan kasama ang industrial designer turned full-time sculptor na si Daniel de la Cruz. Dito pa rin sa Art2art, magbabalik po kami pagkatapos na ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art2art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art2art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa sining biswal, inihahandog ng Cultural Center of the Philippines at ng 100 years of Cesar Legazpi ang Lying in State, ang launching exhibit ng birth centenary na si national artist Cesar Legazpi. Nagbukas noong April 2, makikita ito hanggang June 4 sa Bulwagang Juan Luna at sa 2nd at 3rd floor hallway galleries ng CCP. Tampok ang mga public art projects at state commissions ni Legazpi na mula sa koleksyon ng CCP, ng National Museum at ng Malacanang Palace. Makikita rin ang mga obra ng mga nakababatang artista na kumuha ng inspirasyon mula mula sa trabaho ni Legaspi. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa CCP Visual Arts and Museum Division, Production and Exhibition Department 832-3702. Inihahandog naman ng Yushchenko Museum ang 9-piece black and white photography exhibition ni Ryan Arbilo, pinamagatang Chicken Hands. Ito ay nakatuon sa mga Filipina housemaids na nagpapakita ng kanilang mga kamay na nagmukha ng parang paa ng manok dahil sa hirap ng paghahanap buhay. Nagbukas ang exhibit noong April 25, makikita hanggang June 17. Ang Yushchenko Museum ay matatagpuan sa RCBC Plaza, Ayala Corner, Hilpuyat Avenues, Makati City.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Kasama ang balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja. Art2art.
Kasama pa rin natin ang iskultor na si Daniel de la Cruz. Okay, you were telling us about your very first show with the blessings of national artist Arturo Luz. It was called Kanlungan?
Kandungan.
Kandungan.
Yes.
And this is when you started, yung signature theme na pinili mo ay ang mga kababaihan?
Ang mga kababaihan. Kandungan was really, well, of course, as it means, is the lap, the mother's lap. And that's where actually our first education comes from. And that's where actually our comfort comes from. That's where, you know, a lot of your experiences was from the care and love of your mom. And a lot of my, even in my professional career, I met so many women that I respected. And admired. Actually, more so, sometimes more so, sometimes in the men, because at that time you would realize what they had to, that it was not easier for them. It was actually a lot more challenging for them to move up the corporate ladder. Ang mga nakakasama ko po mga kababaihan doon na mga medyo mga CEO ng mga kampanya where mga foreigners po. Mga taga-America, mga taga-Europe. And iba ho yung marami ho natutunan sa kanila. Marami ho na-guide. And so I dedicated my very first exhibit sa Kotoke to portraying strong women. No? Napansin nga ho ng tao nung unang exhibit ko yun, yung mga kababaihan na ginawa ko po ay medyo malaking katawan. No? I would say full-bodied. No, but as well, at the same time, very graceful. And then a lot of people would ask me, "Danya, ba't mataba?" Hindi mataba. No, these were actually, it was just my way of showing that these were strong women. Rather than the typical, vision of just a very slim woman, or actually even a very sexy woman, which sometimes becomes objectified. No? So I wanted to show women that were given that showed a lot of strength.
Okay, and then also you delve into the subjects of religion and philosophy. Well, the philosophy part is
It's just, it's ingrained,
yes,
ingrained
going
in me,
back to your
my
university
background, my university
studies,
background.
no?
Yeah.
But religion, is this a personal?
Religion is a very, very personal thing for me.
Yeah.
My second show was actually, well, first of all, I was not expecting to have a second show. I was just planning to have a bucket list and say, okay, I did the show, I'm done, and I can then move on. But sa awa po ng Diyos, maganda ho yung reception ng tao. It did very well, and I go, hey, maybe there's something here. But I promised myself in the beginning that, when I started, I go, Panginoon, kung maaari yung pagbigyan po yung aking hiling na masubukan ito, no? Ang nais ko sana is magamit ko yung aking talento na galing rin ho sa inyo para makapagpasalamat uli. And hopefully, one day to be used as your tool. No? I mean, allow my hands to become a tool for your glory, a tool for helping other people. And hanggat maaari, ay yung pala yung sinusubukan kong magpagpatuloy. So yung aking pangalawang exhibit was parangal. parangal, and really, it was really all just saying thank you to
Yeah.
God for
Of course.
that,
Yeah.
that chance.
Yeah, and for someone who thought na yung kanyang first exhibit was his
Was
last,
gonna be the last.
you are actually known as a very prolific sculptor. In fact,
Yes.
para ka nang hindi natutulog kasi you normally finish 30 sculptures in a year.
Maybe, for every
and
exhibit.
In the last 10 years, you've put up 20 solo exhibits and have joined 80 group exhibits sa loob at sa labas ng Pilipinas.
Well,
Okay, that's just too much.
That's quite a lot. Well, I wouldn't say it's too much, but I would say that, well, some people would say it is actually too much. But you know what? One of the things you would notice in my art is I never repeat myself. Every exhibit is completely different. Every exhibit is completely well thought about. It's not, I do not go into a formula where I always do the same thing. A formula is a very tempting thing to do. You find something that people like and buy, then you just go ahead and, okay.
Yeah,
But then it's not, the art was always for me an intellectual challenge.
Yeah.
And if
No,
I do
I
not,
can see itong dalawang libro
Yes.
dito with your Curiouser and Curiouser and Existences
Yeah.
Elsewhere. Ibang-iba.
are completely different.
Completely different. No?
So even though I may have quite a more significant output, although nowadays it's not just, I wouldn't say that that's overly, that's too many works. But, okay, one of the things of having grown up as having to be a product designer, having to be actually a businessman as well, working hard and discipline was just part and parcel of who I am, what I am.
Pero you're not trying to make up for lost time here, right? You
I
just
wouldn't say
feel the
so.
need.
I wouldn't
to,
say so. I mean, when I get really
creating.
passionate, I really get excited, and then when I do, I don't count. I just keep on going at it and making, and it's simply I believe it's just a matter of loving what I'm doing, and secondly, it's a matter of discipline. If I
So do you wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to finish 5 sculptures today?
No, I don't. I don't do that. I don't do that. But of course, when I have commitments and I have targets, I meet them.
Okay.
My typical days, I'm up at 5 a.m. I start my work by 8, but normally I do my workouts in the morning. I would be done anywhere from 7 or 8 p.m. to much later. So I do take, it's just, I guess that's where I take much after my father. My father was a workaholic, and so am I. And, I don't see that as a negative. If people do see it as a negative, then I'm in the wrong world. I believe in working hard. I believe in striving. I believe in, not
completely understand. I've been accused of being a workaholic myself.
I mean, come on, you would not have reached. Yeah, you would not have reached where you are. Without that dedication.
Well, you wouldn't have more than, 20 solo exhibits and 80 group exhibits in 10 years' time if you were not working almost 24/7. But what can we look forward to for what's next for Daniel De La Cruz?
Honestly, what I'm trying to do is actually becoming more and more conceptual with the work. Trying to be challenged, trying to challenge the viewer, trying to challenge the collectors and myself to be more immersive. The last exhibit was actually not just sculptures. It was a combination of sculptures, videos, music.
May fusion na.
There was a fusion, and the main point was the main exhibit was meant to be immersive. You walk into an exhibition and you don't just see sculptures and paintings hanging there, but I try to bring everyone into the world of the sculptures. And for me, that's a new challenge. And maganda hong tingin ko pagtutununguhan. Because para ho sa akin, ang art, even though they call it visual arts, for me, should be more than just visual. It should be now experiential.
Yes.
No? And honestly, as much as possible, I would like to go as far as I can with that. You know, you walk into an exhibit, you see a painting, you see a sculpture, and maybe that's it. But I want you to walk into an exhibit and you get an experience. And you bring home that experience. Because that, I think, is something, you know, not everyone can bring home the work or the painting or the sculpture, but everyone can bring home an experience.
Well, speaking of experience, for someone who has experienced redirecting and, you know, changing his life at the age of 40 and achieving all of that, ano yung masasabi mong advice to give to the young people out there who are like you? Maybe they are in a midlife crisis, or maybe they are in a university course that was chosen by their parents for them. Maybe they would like also to try and follow their hearts. What can you tell them?
Well, I guess the easiest thing is to say that, to use the cliche of follow your heart. You know, I mean, there's another saying, you know, if you do what you love, then you're never going to work a single day in your life.
Very true.
It is all true, but at the same time, you know, we never know. We will never know what we love or what we like. We may think that's what we know, but until you're doing it, you will never know. So if you're not comfortable where you are, then go ahead, experiment, try to find new things. But do not expect that just because it's something you like to do, that it will be an easy road. It's actually sometimes a more difficult, a more challenging road. So I think my best advice for the youngest people is, yes, go ahead. Don't be scared to follow your dreams, but don't think it's an easy way out, or don't think it's easier than not. Hard work, dedication, perseverance will actually always prove to be the more important thing. Because finding what you love is also finding success. And in any field, without that dedication and hard work, success won't come.
That's true. And even if you take that leap of faith, come back in 10 to 15 years.
And it's never too late.
Oh, it's never too late.
It's never too late. Actually, even up to now, I keep on asking myself, what next? What next? You know, and then that's the only way to keep yourself challenged. People would ask me always, okay, as an artist, where do you look for inspiration? Inspiration is everywhere. You just have to see it. Inspiration is talking to you now. Inspiration is having lunch with your friends or with your... It's just really looking at it and finding where it is, and just using that.
Fantastic. Well, maraming salamat, Daniel, sa pagbisita mo dito sa amin sa Art2art.
Maraming salamat.
And of course,
Maraming
we're looking
salamat,
forward to seeing more and more of Daniel de la Cruz.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's a privilege to be here. Maraming salamat.
Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa Art2art, kung saan ang usapang sining at kultura ay para sa lahat. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Lisa Macuja, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino.